So first of all, thank you everyone for joining. It's a slightly we're having this call slightly later in the evening. So big thanks to everybody who's been able to make time and join today. Um, so quickly over the agenda, right? We will begin with demo presentations first, and then move into the session that's planned today, and we will close with a very short reflection activity, which we'll discuss. We'll together discuss and talk more about how the cohort has been together as a group, and things that we thought worked very well, and some things that we could have been worked on and done better, right? So we'll begin with the demo presentations first for today. Um, so we have Diksha and Rahul from Creator Foundation who are going to be presenting, followed by Imran and Neha from Gunj. So they've prepared very short decks, just like Sharanya last week, for everybody in the cohort to get a glimpse of things that they have worked, not just during the cohort, but something that they take by uh, on the conclusion of the same. So passing this waiting to Diksha, would you like to share your screen and start?
Yeah, sure. Hi, good evening, everyone. Uh, Thank you for joining. I'm just gonna give me 1 second. Okay, so for us, so when like we started with Glyphic, we had already been using Glyphic for a while before that. Just to give you a little background for Multiply, it's a financial education initiative by Credo Foundation, and who we are aimed at is low and lower middle income women entrepreneurs. We essentially produce a lot of video content. We started off with personal finance, and now we also have a large repository of videos on business finance. Essentially, what that does is that it provides our users, the women, a space where they can watch something and learn from it instead of being in a modular situation where the trainings that happen with them go from one end to the other. This is more a problem solution oriented option that we want them to have. Uh, the focus that we have for our program is to build confidence in business and personal finance so that it supports their income and independence. Essentially, what we want to do with the chatbot is taking from our videos that are posted on YouTube and that are built onto a platform. We want to provide them with a user journey and a user experience. So, what we're trying to build initially, we started with a push format wherein we started sending the messages out from our end, which is what the flows were. We used to, and we still do run ads, which are on Meta, essentially Facebook and Instagram. And from there, we get our users onboarded to our WhatsApp chatbot. I'm sorry, did someone say something?
Yeah, Diksha, I think you can go ahead. I think it's just he got unmuted by mistake. Please carry on.
Oh, okay, no problem. So which is where we started at with and we started asking people to watch our videos, take some quizzes, and give us feedback on how the videos were like. We still do that, and we're taking also a step forward in terms of essentially also building an AI chatbot. We're in the process of doing that, wherein they can also ask their questions through speech to text, like through also using Bhashani. so that they also have access to speech to text functionality, accounting for users who have trouble typing. So that's essentially our model and the idea that we have for our chatbot. So I think I've covered a lot of this, but the reasons that we wanted to join the Restart cohort, first of all, it was to brush up on our own skills. We wanted to also understand the best practices, get hands-on experience, because when we kind of started, at least when I started, it was more about experimenting, asking on Discord, then figuring things out. Initially, that was the case. So I also wanted a little more hands-on experience on what's the best way to do things in a more structured manner, and explore ways to integrate quizzes and videos and FAQs for better engagement. We also wanted to connect with people using Lific, see what other people were doing, what were some of the best ways to connect with the audiences. So that was overall the idea, as well as to build some internal capacity and sustain the chatbot beyond what we have been piloting so far. So, for our top three takeaways or learnings from the cohort, the first one and the foremost one has been using the flow design for engagement. We have been doing a lot of buttons and a lot of messages, but also incorporating nudges, incorporating some messages that help them, keep engaged. So we did that. We learned about Google Sheet integration. We actually have a quite extensive flow right now that we use with our users who are coming through ads, and we wanted to simplify it much further. So we've gone with Google Sheet integration, which is something that I will show you um, right now. And we also wanted to understand AI integration better. As I said, we are already doing it, but it's also good to kind of have all the information and how to use it effectively and prompt it effectively. So we did that quite a bit. Uh, Before actually moving on to, yeah, okay. So for the learnings implemented, we did do the Google Sheet based flows. We managed to improve our flow design and membership management as well. And the AI integration is in process. So I actually wanted to show you guys how it's working out right now. One second. Are you able to see my Glyphic screen?
No, Diksha, we can see your presentation.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I thought. So yeah, okay. So I just wanted to actually also show you what it looked like before and what we're working on right now. Just quickly, I'll show you. Yeah, so initially, this is what we have. It's quite complicated in the sense that the user flow that we have created, wherein they can watch all of our videos, actually is quite detailed, and it has a lot of nodes. And if you guys remember, we did discuss it in one of the quick sessions that if it breaks down, it's quite hard to understand where things went and what is happening where. So if you can see, I'm just gonna kind of zoom out a little bit. It is quite an extensive flow, right?
Yeah.
Um, what we're trying to do is something simpler, which is instead of the multiple videos that are added to each of the nodes, instead of that, this is a Google Sheet integration. I'm actually gonna preview this for you as well. So only dummy information is saved right now, but if I press on topics and go select the first one, it gives me the video. It also asks me if I wanted to see the quiz again. Like, sorry, if I wanted to do a quiz, it gives me a response of congratulations if I gave the right response. And I can go to the next video and the next video and the next video. It keeps on going forward. All of it is actually just one flow. And what we've done is we've set counters. So there are 8 videos under the theme of sales. So say, for example, instead of creating 8 different flows, we only have one. Uh, we are going to do the same thing for all the other themes, and that cuts down our work significantly because maintaining a database is much more easier. This is how we're maintaining it. We're still, this is still a dummy sheet. We're going to populate it. We start with the key and then the theme it's under, the video number, topic, video URL, uh, quiz 1, it's 3 options. Then the answer, quiz 2, their options, the answer, whether that's the correct message or the wrong message, and the next key. So essentially, what it helps us do is we can maintain all the data. We can make changes only in the counter settings, and it can keep going over and over again. And in here, say for example, it just takes up the results from the Google Sheet instead of us actually writing and creating interactive messages for each single quiz question response and everything. It's just one single message that we're using over and over again. It just takes up from there. So that's the idea that we're working with at the moment. Moving forward, we covered the learnings implemented, and I think this is the last slide. So essentially, how do we see our chatbot evolving in the next couple of months? So we are actually planning on a complete AI integration, so that we have context-aware responses in Hindi. Uh, from the whole data set that we have created, which involves and encompasses over 80 to 100 videos. We also want to expand our flows to cover all business finance topics with FAQs, videos. So it will also run parallelly side by side. If somebody wants to actually interact with the bot, they can. If they want to go through something like this, which is more of an LMS situation happening, they can do that too. So we'll do the Google Sheet driven flows. And we are also working on strengthening our user engagement nudges. We have already incorporated some buttons here and there, especially with our AI bot, reminding people to click, asking them to come back. Just saying things like, "We're sad to see you go. If you want to ever come back, please press this button." so that it kind of also builds their habits of using the bot. And eventually, in each of the sections, also, they can have nudges like, did you try this out? Did you do what we said in the video, etc. So, that is our plan for now. We want to pilot it with around 350 different women and refine it based on the feedback that we get, and then scale it up enough to then do a proper launch. So that's it from my end and from Credor. If you guys have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Diksha, for such a elaborate walkthrough of the flows. Uh, it is super interesting to see the logic in the way the Google Sheets have been integrated. It's slightly different from the usual use case of using Google Sheets, because over here, if we look at it, there is a it's a cyclic. I would not call it a loop, but it repeats for a certain number of iterations for every topic. So it's not a simple implementation of just picking topics from a particular sheet and adding it to the interactive message. So kudos to you and Rahul to take that forward, take that to completion from the way it was thought about to optimize the existing flow. So kudos to you on that. And yeah, open to the cohort. Like if there are any questions on what Diksha has presented, maybe we can spend like 2 minutes on that. So just feel free to unmute and ask. We're not going to or like show a raise of hands in case we're all good, maybe. Ajish, um, was it
Yeah,
uh,
I have a
thoughts?
question in my mind, but I'm not sure whether it's mostly not related to the flow how they designed. But I'm really impressive the way they changed from the previous to the current version of it. I'm just wondering what will be the engagement looks like they're expected from the previous to the new one. Do they have done a kind of an engagement survey for the previous one? And what is the expected engagement ratio, the increased engagement ratio for the newer one? I'm just curious on that. That's something that we are also working on it. So if you can just help us just understand, that would be really helpful. I'm not sure whether that this is the right time for me to ask this question also. Might be up after some more time once they published it and once they rolled out, it will be a good place for them also to respond. But I'm just curious to know the reason behind just changing from a previous flow to the new flow.
I'd like
Okay,
to take
so
that.
one of the reasons, I'll just quickly actually answer this. One of the reasons why we changed it is it tends to, after a point, get too complicated. Each of the videos that we have, so right now, for just our business finance program, we have close to 80 videos, and they are going to increase only. Um, 80 separate flows all tied together in one flow so that the user can hop, skip, and jump across themes if they wanted to, right? After each video, you get that option that you can go back to the main menu and you can go to another theme altogether. You watched one sales video, you can go now to marketing, or you can go to finance or whatever. While we were building it and rolling it out, if it broke down at any given point of time, we ended up spending days figuring out where it broke down. With a Google Sheet, the chances become much lower. Second, there are now, say for example, we have 8 themes, so we only have 8 flows. So it's much more easier. That way, engagement improves in the sense that the dropouts that happen because a flow broke down reduce drastically, right? So when you see a spike in number in engagement, it might not be necessarily because there's a change in the flow, because the flow essentially for the user facing person remains the same. but we improve the engagement because the breakdowns happen much lesser. Larger, complicated flows are easier to manage, are not that easy to manage, whereas this is. And the turnaround time for us to put out more content quickly, if we wanted to say, for example, add like 5 different other things on the sales flow, 5 more videos, while creating that took time. So if you don't maintain constant engagement with the audience, they kind of tend to drop out, right? And they never really come back. In this case, all we had to do was put a pre-existing, um, the name, the URL, and the quizzes, and it's kind of like 10 minutes to 15 minutes max on updating a Google Sheet, which means the user gets it immediately. Or they get a nudge once a day key, okay, there's a new video. So something like that, those are the things that improve the engagement metric in a flow like this, not particularly nudges, because that would be like a separate way of engaging with the audience. And we have included nudges like, please press the button that is given there instead of typing out something. But drop-offs because of that happen nonetheless. Sometimes people just type, sometimes they don't. You really can't help those things, but wherever we see a spike going forward would be because of these reasons.
Got it, got it. Thanks, Diksha. But I have a couple of follow-up questions which more related to the program design and rather to the glyphic flow. But I probably connect you separately on that just to understand some of that.
Absolutely.
Sure,
Yeah, we can absolutely connect.
sure. Great. Thanks.
Lovely to see the collaboration here. But yeah, feel free, Ajish, to check in with Diksha on any clarity that you need further to understand this better.
Sure. Thanks.
So yeah, I think from now creator, we have now Imran and Neha, who are also have prepared a very short, actually a short tech on again the work that they have been able to do, not just during the cohort, but like the takeaways that they would take forward, like in the process of implementing their program through the chatbot, right? So yeah, I think passing the baton now to Ria and Neha and Imran. Please feel free to share your screen and yeah, take it forward.
हेलो एक सेकेंड आई जस्ट शेयर द स्क्रीन screen is visible to you all, correct?
Yes, we can see it. You're on mute, Neha.
Hello. Yeah, so sorry. Okay, so hello everyone. First of all, thank you so much, Tanu and Krishna and the Gifted team to give us the opportunity to share this like workflow with you all. So let's start. Okay. Okay, so just I will just give you the brief about Gunj. So Gunj is a non-profit organization, and we are like is working with across India to building a dignified, sustainable relationship between cities and villages, like using urban surplus material. And Gunj जो है वो like different initiatives में like काम करता है. We have a like we work in the development and rehabilitation, education sector, medication, hygiene, disaster relief, upcycling surplus material to the like urban like surplus material to the upcycled products and all. And we just Gunj work with in like making a bridge between village and urban centric like initiatives are there. And also we work in urban with the different stakeholders like school, colleges, corporates, volunteers, interns, and all. So this is a small brief about Gunj. We have lots to say, but we are just giving a small brief about the organization now. and I guess the net is not that good, so I'm just switching my camera off. Is the second slide is visible to you all or not?
We can still see the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, we can still see the first one.
Neha, maybe you can
Let me
share
just,
the doc, like deck with us. We can share the screen if that's.
yeah. Okay. Wait, I will share the. I guess I can share this now. I'll just try this.
It's the same deck, right, Neha?
Yes,
You
same.
guys have shared with me.
Same,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Try once more. If else not, like I can share the screen for you.
Okay. I guess then you can go ahead with sharing the
Okay.
screen. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Then go to the third slide.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so like the primary objective of the chatbot in Goonj, which we are like using for. So basically, we are like, as I've mentioned, we work with the different stakeholders in urban parts. So this is, we use this chatbot to automate the like normal and the like queries of stakeholders. Like they ask us about the where to contribute and the, what is the Gunj office details and address. So basically like हमने जो ये chatbot बनाया था like before, this is just a normal chatbot. So to sort the queries of the like different stakeholders regarding this normal queries, and इसी के साथ साथ like हमारे जो अभी current stakeholders है जो existing हैं उनके साथ किस तरीके से हम कम्युनिकेशन जो है वो प्रॉपर तरीके से बिल्ड कर सकते हैं कि हमारी जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन है, बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन, वो उन तक पहुंचती रहे. एंड उसी के साथ में लाइक वी हैव अ मल्टीपल अपॉर्चुनिटीज लाइक फॉर वॉलंटियरिंग फॉर इंटर्न्स एंड जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज आर देयर. सो उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन किस तरीके से वो एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. सो ये था हमारा बेसिक फ्लो जिस पे गूंज ने जो है वो काम करा था. बट now like after the cohort, like during the cohort actually हमारा ये फोकस था कि अभी हमें इसे और किस तरीके से डिजाइन कर सकते हैं जिसमें like जो भी हमारे इंटर्न्स है, वॉलंटियर्स है, जो अलग डिफरेंट जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हमारे हैं, उनके साथ हम किस तरीके से पर्सनलाइज like रिलेशनशिप हम बिल्ड कर सकते हैं, उसी किस तरीके से और डीपर वे में हम इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हैं, इंगेज कर सकते हैं. सो ये हमारा अभी जो फोकस था वो इस तरीके से था. सो ड्यूरिंग दिस कोहॉर्ट हमने कुछ न्यू फ्लोज पे काम किया है, न्यू फ्लोज हमने प्रिपेयर करा है, वो आई विल जस्ट शेयर यू लाइक थोड़ी देर में मैं आप लोगों को वो शेयर करने वाली हूँ. एंड या तनु नेक्स्ट स्लाइड यू कैन गो. Yeah. So reason to join the this cohort, like this is the first time actually like मैंने गूंज like ग्लिफिक के इतने डीपर इसमें इन्वॉल्व हुई हूँ. एंड हमारा बेसिक ये रीज़न था कि हम हमारी जो टीम है जिसने नॉर्मल इनिशियली ग्लिफिक के चैटबॉट बनाने में लाइक बनाया था, उनके जो आइडियाज़, उनकी जो लर्निंग थी, और हम थोड़ा और अच्छे तरीके से कैसे स्ट्रेंथन कर सकते हैं और ज़्यादा डीपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग किस तरीके से हमारी हो सकती टू टेक लाइक चैटबॉट फॉर फ्यूचर लाइक गूंज के साथ में, और किस तरीके से हम कनेक्ट लाइक इस प्लेटफॉर्म को और किस तरीके से हम यूज़र फ्रेंडली बना सकते हैं. सो वो था हमारा रीज़न. इसके अलावा कि इससे लाइक चैटबॉट को और पर्सनलाइज्ड किस तरीके से हम कर सकते हैं, लाइक कि जो भी लोग हमारे चैटबॉट पर आ रहे हैं वो हमारे साथ में इंगेज रहे, या फिर वो जो चैटबॉट उन्हें उस तरीके का एक्सपीरियंस है कि वो वापस चैटबॉट को यूज करे। ऐसा ना हो कि एक वन टाइम उन्होंने यूज करा एंड देन दे एग्जिट। तो उस तरीके से हमारा था कि हम उसे और पर्सनलाइज तरीके से क्रिएट करें, थोड़ा क्रिएटिव हो हमारा। एंड इसी के साथ में जो भी बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हैं उसको लाइक चैटबॉट को डिजाइन करने के लिए वो हम थोड़ा और अच्छी तरीके से लर्न कर सकें एंड उसे इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकें इन अवर करंट एज वेल एज जो हम नया फ्लो बना रहे हैं उसमें भी, ताकि वो फ्लोज को और अच्छी तरीके से हम टीम के साथ एंड बाकी लोगों के साथ उसे इनहेंस कर सकें। सेकंड था ये कि लाइक ऑफ कोर्स लाइक ग्लिफिक टीम की जो गाइडेंस रही है ड्यूरिंग दिस टाइम लाइक कोहॉर्ट के वक्त में, सो ये कि बहुत ही अच्छा सपोर्ट जो है वो रहा है। लाइक जो भी प्रैक्टिकली हमने यहाँ पर सीखा उसे इम्प्लीमेंट करा, जो भी प्रैक्टिकल इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के वक्त में हमारी क्वेरीज रही थी वो टाइमली सॉर्ट होते गई। सो वो एक अच्छा स्पेस हमें मिला जहाँ पर हम बहुत सारी चीज़ें ट्राई कर सके। लाइक तनु नोज की हमारे जो ऑफिस आवर्स वाले कॉल्स होते थे उसमें हमारे बहुत अलग अलग तरीके की क्वेरीज होती थी, वो सॉर्ट भी होती थी और कुछ नए आइडियाज भी हम शेयर करते थे उस वक्त में। सो वो एक अच्छा एक स्पेस मिला हमें। और इससे या एंड लास्ट इज कि जो भी हम लाइक कोहॉर्ट में अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस है जो अलग अलग चैटबॉट और अलग अलग आइडियाज पे वो काम करे टू लाइक विद डिफरेंट आइडियोलॉजी एंड सारी चीज़ें। सो वो हम थोड़ा एक्सचेंज कर सके और उनसे कुछ आइडियाज हम ले सके। लाइक जैसे लास्ट हमारी जो थी वहाँ से मैंने शरण्या से सीखा था एक्चुअली कि किस तरीके से हम स्प्लिट कर सकते हैं कि वो फ्लो बहुत ज़्यादा लेंदी ना हो, बहुत ही उसमें ऐसे मेसी ना दिखे, वो किस तरीके से हम उसको स्ट्रक्चर कर सकते हैं। तो ये सारी लर्निंग्स जो थी वो हमारे एक रीज़न था कि कोहॉर्ट को हम ज्वाइन करें और उसे सीख सके। एंड नेक्स्ट या सो बिफोर लाइक कोहॉर्ट लाइक अगर मैं ये बात करूँ कि जो भी हमारी टीम ने अभी बेसिक फ्लो पे काम करा था, तो हम एक्चुअली आपको आगे फोटोज भी दिखाएंगे रिगार्डिंग द बेसिक फ्लो। बहुत ही बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर था हमारा, जस्ट लाइक वॉलंटियर। द बेसिक फ्लो इज फॉर ओनली इंडिविजुअल एंड कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटर्स जो भी हमारे यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं फॉर बेसिक इन्फॉर्मेशन कि क्या क्या ऑफिस टाइमिंग्स है, किस तरीके से वो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं इन सारी चीज़ें। एंड इसके अलावा हमें लाइक जो फ्लोज थे वो बहुत ही ज़्यादा क्लस्टर्ड से, लाइक ऐसे नहीं कि बहुत ही सिंपल और सॉर्टेड फ्लो आपको दिख रहा है। और कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि अगर कहीं के कोई इशू हो रहा है तो वो बहुत कंफ्यूजिंग होता था वापस जाकर उस फ्लो को चेक करना एंड देन फिर उसे रिकरेक्ट करना, तो वो बहुत टाइम टेकिंग कंफ्यूजिंग था लाइक बिफोर दिस। एंड इसके अलावा हमें बहुत सारे फीचर्स के बारे में आइडिया नहीं था कि किस तरीके से उसे इम्प्लीमेंट करना है, या फिर किस तरीके से इस प्लेटफॉर्म को हम और ज़्यादा यूज़र फ्रेंडली बना सकते हैं, और बाकी जो स्प्लिट फंक्शनैलिटी है उसे कैसे हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं, LLM ऑल्सो। तो वो सारी चीज़ें थी हमारी लाइक पहले हमें बिल्कुल आइडिया नहीं था उसके बारे में। यस तनु नेक्स्ट। So this is a photo, like यहाँ पर you can see the basic flow. This is all about like opt in, opt out and the basic questions and queries. So ये हमारा basic flow था पहले जो हमने like हमारी टीम ने prepare करा था. Next. And then after the cohort, like this whole like पूरा week, पूरा month I guess जो हमारे experiences रहे हैं, जो key learnings रही है वो हमने यहाँ पर mention करा हुआ है. So basic अगर मैं अपनी बात करूँ तो this is like earlier मैंने ऐसे mention करा था कि this is a new for me, new platform for me कि like chatbot कैसे दिखता है, इसके internal किस तरीके की functionality होती है, वो सारी चीज़ के बारे में मुझे बिल्कुल idea नहीं था. But starting with the like with this cohort first week में बहुत सारी चीज़ें sort हुई थी, बहुत सारी चीज़ें clear हुई थी. Also like the practical things, no, like हम उसे practically देख रहे हैं and then फिर हम implement कर रहे हैं and then हम test कर रहे हैं, तो वो सारे experiences हमारे जो थे वो आ रहे थे सामने and बहुत ही best learning रही थी वो हमारी. And इसके अलावा like when we create something like in chatbot, तो basically हमारा इस तरीके से था कि हम उसे test करते थे. So जब हम test करते थे तो हम थोड़ा external की तरह सोच पाते थे, like कि अगर मैं like उनकी perspective से कि अगर वो first time आ रहे गूंज में तो वो chatbot से क्या चाह रहे होंगे, what is the outcome, what is the result, कि उनको बहुत ज़्यादा confusing भी ना लगे और वो connected भी रहे और उनको जो चीज़ चाहिए वो चीज़ उनको easily मिल जाए, एक्सेस कर पाए. तो वो एक चीज़ थी जो सॉर्ट हुई थी. एंड इसके अलावा लाइक हमारी लाइक जो भी हमारी लाइक मोस्ट ऐसा होता है कि like, जो भी कोई न्यू पर्सन हमारे चैटबॉट में आते तो बहुत सारी क्वेश्चंस एंड क्वेरीज हम उनसे पूछते, चाहे उनके नाम हो, एज हो या फिर समथिंग। तो हमने ऐसे इंटर्नशिप की पूरी फ्लो बनाई हुई है। सो उसमें हम उनसे क्लास पूछ रहे हैं, एज पूछ रहे हैं, तो वो सारी चीज़ों को उनके कॉन्टेक्ट में किस तरीके से हम ऐड कर रहे हैं, और वो हमारे डिफरेंट लाइक फ्यूचर के लिए किस तरीके से हम उसको यूज़ करने वाले हैं कि यस ये डेटा हमारे पास है, इतने इंटर्न्स थे जो अलग अलग डोमेन में उन्होंने करा था एनरोल, तो उस तरीके का डेटा किस तरीके से कैप्चर कर सकते हैं वो हमें यहाँ पर वो लर्निंग रही है। इसके अलावा लाइक हम चैटबॉट को किस तरीके से रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर सकते हैं, लाइक रिस्ट्रिक्शंस इन द सेंस ऑफ लाइक कि AI असिस्टेंट वाला भी हमने इसमें सीखा था। तो बेसिक ये कि किस तरीके से हम उन्हें प्रॉम्प्ट दे रहे हैं और वो क्या रिजल्ट जो है और क्या चीज़ें जो है हम एक्सटर्नल को दिखाना चाहते हैं या फिर उनको शो करना चाहते हैं जो वो एक्सेस कर सके, उनकी इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए हो। उसके अलावा लाइक जो भी इनपुट हमारे पास आ रहा है फ्रॉम द यूजर्स, वो लाइक बहुत ही फॉर्मेट में रहे। लाइक जैसे अगर हम नाम पूछ रहे हैं तो वो नाम जो है उस फॉर्मेट में रहे, और उन्हें हम वापस से गाइड भी कर रहे हैं कि किस फॉर्मेट में आपको नाम जो है वो वहाँ पे मेंशन करना है। तो ये सारी चीज़ें हमारी यहाँ पर थोड़ी स्ट्रक्चर हुई थी। एंड इसके अलावा लाइक और भी सारी चीज़ें हैं, HSM मैसेज क्रिएट करना, वी आर एक्सप्लोरिंग कि उसको किस तरीके से हम इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा नजेस वाला, सो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे लिए, क्योंकि हमारे पास ऐसे कि जो भी हमारे पास आते हैं स्टेक होल्डर्स, उनका ये कि वॉलंटियर्स हैं सारी चीज़ें, तो एक अंदर से रहता है कि उनको मतलब एक बार रिस्पॉन्ड उन्हें मैसेज कर दिया, उनका रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं आ रहा है, तो किस तरीके से हम वापस रिमाइंड करें कि आपका रिस्पॉन्स हमें नहीं आया है, टू कंटिन्यू दिस फ्लो आप इस पर रिस्पॉन्ड कीजिए। तो वो फंक्शनैलिटी जो है वो हमने सीखी और इम्प्लीमेंट भी करी, ताकि वो ब्रेक फ्लो जो है वो ब्रेक ना हो, कम्युनिकेशन जो है वो प्रॉपर स्मूथ जाए। सो तनु नेक्स्ट। तनु अगर तुम यहाँ पे क्लिक करोगी ना तो इस पर लिंक आएगी और वो डायरेक्टली हमारे इस पे लेकर जाएगी
Me a
क्लिक
second.
वाले फ्लो पे।
हाँ, एक सेकेंड, जस्ट लॉग इन। One second, I will just log in.
Oh.
Okay. Is the screen visible?
Yes.
Give me a second. I'll just stop sharing and share again. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
या सो लाइक कुछ लाइक जो भी लर्निंग थी वो हमने यहाँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट करी है। सो लाइक you can see the split flow. So we have used the split flow. Like जो भी हमारे यहाँ पे हमारे इसमें चैटबॉट में इंटर्न्स आ रहे हैं, सो उन्हें किस तरीके से हम लाइक नज कर सकते हैं अकॉर्डिंग दैट, लाइक अगर उनकी रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑलरेडी हुई है तो उनसे वही रिपीट में क्वेश्चंस ना पूछे जाए, ताकि वो बहुत लाइक कंफ्यूज या फिर उनको वही चीज़ें वही प्रोसेस बार बार ना दोहरानी पड़ी। तो उस चीज़ को सॉर्ट करने के लिए हमने यहाँ पर ये यूज़ करा था स्प्लिट फ्लो। एंड then we can go down.
You can
So
tell me
this,
where
yeah,
should I stop?
yeah, please go down.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so I've mentioned one nudging, like repetitive or reminder messages you can say. So basically हमने वो यहाँ पर implement करा था कि like जो भी persons के message आ रहे हैं and then फिर वो like वापस respond नहीं करे, तो we have like set a 2 minute वाला slot कि जैसे ही उनकी message हमें नहीं आ रही है तो हमने यहाँ पे 2 minutes या I can mention, हाँ you can सो 2 मिनट्स का स्लॉट कि जहाँ पर वो 2 मिनट्स में अगर वो रिस्पॉन्ड नहीं कर रहे तो उनको वापस से एक रिमाइंडर मैसेज आया सेइंग दैट यू हैव नॉट येट कंफर्म योर नेम और समथिंग और रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू द अबव मैसेज यू कैन मैसेज again to continue the flow of or the communication. So we have set it for the 2 times only. Like अगर वो first time में respond नहीं कर रहे 2 मिनट के बाद उन्हें एक मैसेज आएगी एंड देन अगेन 2 मिनट के बाद एक मैसेज आएगी. ये 2 बार का सेट हमने इस वजह से भी किया था ताकि उनको कंटिन्यूसली मैसेज हमारी तरफ से ना जाए एंड लाइक अगर लाइक यूजर फ्रेंडली इन द सेंस ऑफ लाइक कि अगर उनको मैसेज करना होगा तो वो फर्स्ट और सेकंड रिमाइंडर में मैसेज कर देंगे. अदरवाइज और अगर वो बाद में कभी भी आते तो उनके पास उनके साथ में वही फ्लो शुरू होगा, उनसे बाकी की चीज़ें जो है वो नहीं पूछी जाएगी. तो वो यहाँ पर हमने इम्प्लीमेंट करा था. यस yes then you can go to the next like, slide I guess.
Slide. Okay.
Yeah.
This is
So
yeah.
after the first week of a session, like we have started like making a glyphic वाला फ्लो डायरेक्टली. बट इन लाइक जब सेकेंड वीक का हमारा सेशन हुआ तो वहाँ पे कृष्णा एंड तनु ने सजेस्ट किया कि हम उसे कहीं पेपर पेन या फिर कहीं गूगल शीट पर वो रखे कि किस तरीके से हम अपना फ्लो या फिर हमारा पूरा स्ट्रक्चर देखना चाहते हैं. सो हमने ये प्रिपेयर करा था, हमने पूरे थॉट्स जो है वो कैनवा पे लेकर आए और वो उसको प्रॉपर तरीके से हमने डिफ्रेंशिएट किया कि कौन से मतलब कौन से स्टेप के बाद कौन सा स्टेप लगना है, क्योंकि वो थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूजन हो जाता है ग्लिफिक में. सो ये हमारा प्रिपरेशन था एंड देन फिर नेक्स्ट आइटम. सो ये मैंने ऑलरेडी आप लोगों को बता दिया है. सो ये कुछ लर्निंग्स थी, हमने वैसे तो बहुत सारी है इसको हमने इम्प्लीमेंट करा है बट मेजर हमने कुछ लर्निंग्स जो है यहाँ पे मेंशन करी थी. स्प्लिट बाय फ्लो एंड नजिंग वाला. यस नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. दिस इज द रिजल्ट डॉट फील्ड वाला. लाइक किस तरीके से जो भी कॉन्टैक्ट है उनका डेटा हम किस तरीके से कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं हमारे बैकएंड इसमें सिस्टम में, वो था कि किस तरीके से हम न्यू फील्ड क्रिएट करेंगे. लाइक अगर हम उनको नाम और नंबर के सिवा और कुछ पूछ रहे हैं लाइक उनकी ईमेल आईडी या फिर उनका एज, तो उस फील्ड को किस तरीके से हम क्रिएट करें एंड देन वो उनके बैकएंड में वो सेव होता रहे, उनका जो भी रिजल्ट है वो हमने यहाँ पर इम्प्लीमेंट करा था. बेसिकली ये हमारी इंटर्नशिप टाइप के लिए भी था कि हमारे यहाँ पर डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ इंटर्नशिप है. तो अगर वो एक बार चूज कर रहे हैं तो बार बार उनको वो क्वेश्चन ना पूछे अगर वो बाद में कभी आ रहा है कि आप कौन से इंटर्नशिप जो है वो परस्यू कर रहे हो. सो इसलिए ये हमने यहाँ पर यूज करा था. नेक्स्ट. सो I would like to request to Imran to take it forward. Thank you.
From here, if we discuss regarding the top 3 takeaways, so I think there are more than 3, but we only mentioned the 3 ones. So there are lots of features we didn't knew earlier about it, or maybe heard how we can do this thing in the Glyphic. As I was part of the building this chatbot, so I know few things. Oh, we can do this and how we can create a basic flow at least, but not the new features how we can implement those. So those are the my and team's new learning. And regarding the WhatsApp. So as we know, in today's time, every age group are using WhatsApp, right, to communicate with their family, friends, everyone. And the chatbot is the best way to nudge them or engage them with our organization. As if we discuss regarding the volunteering or our stakeholder, they come from different age groups, children to adults to senior citizens. So we learned that how we can use our LLM feature to engage them with our chatbot. Because if, for example, we take Bhasni. So as I mentioned, we have senior citizens who work as a volunteer with us. So lots of people don't want to write to us. So it's best for them to just record an audio, send it to us, and they got an answer in the audio format. So that is a new learning for us. And the third one is regarding how we can make our flows and chatbot more engaging and we can make our chatbot more engaging. So people who come one time, they can come back again. So they have a way ki, oh, if I have a query, I can go to this chatbot and it will solve my problem instantly. So these are our top 3 takeaways. Tanu, next. Yes. So, how we gonna evolve our chatbot? So for the current flow, which we are working the intensive flow, are planning to complete the creation of this flow, and by end of September, we will thinking of pilot with our Delhi and Mumbai office intern. And based on their feedback, suggestions, we will implement those. And in November, because October is JGW, it's too much big event for us. So in November, we will planning to implement this in our Pan India Gunj offices, where we have both interns who are working in our office or working remotely. And the third one is, as we mentioned, we have our another main flow which we are using. So this all learning we are trying to implement in the our main flow. And as if our intensive flow got success, we are also thinking about our volunteering engagement chatbot. So as we have different volunteers, so how we can bring those in our chatbot and do the further engagement. And regarding this LLM, we haven't implemented in any of this flow, but we are thinking, as I mentioned, regarding the volunteering, maybe we will add Bhatni one. In the internship, we will give an option to interns to have any question regarding our organization. They can put and get an answer. So these are our way forward. In this, I just recorded a demo through my phone, how my Gun chatbot is look like if an intern who is doing internship with Gun using that. So this is the our flow. So the keyword is hi intern. If you put a hi intern, it will give you the opt-in message. I think then you can fast forward it in 1x2 or something.
Let me know till where should I like take it to.
You can just fast forward it. It's 1x now. You
Okay,
can.
okay. One second. Yep.
Yes. So if someone put the keyword, it will ask first time ask for the opt-in message. We also have mentioned in the footer reply stop to unsubscribe. If the user send a different message, it will again say select from above answer, and you have to share your name. You have to confirm your name, and after that it will ask for the state from where you are. Earlier this was in another flow, but we are thinking we can make mandatory for everyone. So once you confirm your state, it will ask you for the internship type, community warrior or social internship. Social internship is for college going student and community warrior for school student. And once you selected that, it will take you to in which Gunj office you are placed. And after that, you have to select the regular option, which you will come regular to engage with this chatbot. And this is the answer. And after at the end, if you are registered with this chatbot, you just write the keyword and it will take you to direct the main menu, how you want to engage with us. So this is the current basic flow which we have created for the internship. And I think that's all. Neha, if you want to add anything.
No, everything is covered, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Neha and Imran, for giving such an elaborate demo of what you guys have created. And bigger thanks to you to highlight the importance of the fundamentals, which you brought across, and learning the fact that, okay, if like learning the or broadening your scope of what the features help you do, right? Apart from the core functionalities that it provides. So kudos to you on that, and very happy to hear that this was able to build your confidence, Neha, to take it forward independently. And all the very best for your pan India release, and also the shorter releases that you just mentioned about the pilot. Yeah. Yeah, I think open to the floor again. Any questions for what Neha and Imran just presented? I think we can quickly take that up in the next 2 minutes. Yeah, the interest of time. Feel free to just unmute and ask, or maybe just a quick show of hands on um, moving forward. Yeah. Okay, I'll take that as no questions and move to the next part of what's in the agenda today. Yeah, we'll have a very short webinar on engagement because that is again one of the important pieces that a couple of you during our first interaction call that we had regarding the cohort, a lot of you mentioned that we want to get a slightly deeper understanding on how we can improve engagement. So that's what we're going to be diving deep about today. Allow me a second to share my screen. Okay, right. Okay. I hope my screen is visible. So yeah, first talking about engagement, right? I'd like to call out, and I think a lot of you also brought this up very briefly in our discussions at the beginning, that chat running a chatbot on the whole is not just about delivering your messages to your end users, right? It is much more than that. It extends to the integrity is much more than that. So we are going to deep dive right now on what we think that engagement could ideally mean from a generic perspective, despite having like simpler definitions for each org, right? So going ahead, um, a short overview or the agenda of what we are going to speak about. First, we will dive deep into what engagement looks like. Within engagement, what are certain metrics that drive it across any program, and how out of the list of things that you can do, right, to improve engagement, how would you as an organization be able to understand what works best for your users? Because not everything, if implemented, is going to give you the results that you need, right? So how is it that you determine, how is it that you should go about understanding on what will work best for your users? So live moving on. So now first, right, on what engagement is. So quote unquote, like if you were to just look at engagement from a holistic perspective, it is essentially one sort of a behavior that you're expecting your user to follow, right? If you go deeper, an engagement could be different for different organizations, right? You could measure engagement from the amount of time somebody is spending on your chatbot or the product. It could be in your case, it could also be, say, if say there are 100 users who started your flow, how many of them actually went on to completing it? So those are specific definitions of what you want to look at in engagement. But quote unquote, if you were to look at it from a bird's eye perspective, right, it is basically a type of behavior that you're wanting the user to follow. And based on Fogg's behavior equation, it largely depends on three things, which is basically the motivation, whether I as a user want to perform that particular action. In this case, the action being whether me as a user would want to engage with your chatbot. Second thing would be the ability. Do I have all the resources in place for me to be able to act on it easily? And the third one being, am I prompted correctly and frequently to be able to perform that action? So an action again here being engage with your chatbot. So if all these three ideas merge together, that's when you could say that a user is in an ideal position to actually engage with your chatbot. So it quote unquote means that all the three together need to be executed parallelly, and they should be able to support the other metrics. Only then will I as a user want to come and say interact with your chatbot, right? That is primarily what we're going to look at in definition. So yeah, as I just said, right, now wanting to engage can also depend on a lot of things besides just the fact that, okay, if I have a phone, and will I be able to engage with your chatbot or not? Those are certain parameters that probably you might be able to make use of, might be in control of, or might not be. But beyond that, are you enabling the user with all the necessary resources to be able to take forward that interaction for in your chatbot, is what you want to build together, right? First, now talking about motivation, right? Here again, motivation is something which, if you were to look at it again from your chatbot flows, it's a common saying, right? Like, I mean, anytime when I see the success happening in front of me, I am motivated to perform better, right? Like, I mean, I am motivated to push myself to perform in a manner that I can achieve the outcome. So over here, quote unquote, what we want to look at is, how is it that you can properly designate the value the chatbot is trying to showcase, and also make the user feel that they're moving towards achieving that goal. So when both of these parameters only will come together, is when I as a user will want to come back to your chatbot and maybe initiate an interaction or achieve what your chatbot is propagating to show, right? There are many ways that you can do it specifically for your chatbot. The most common, or the first thing that you ideally should definitely have in your chatbot, is personalize the content to the extent that it is possible, which means that avoid having maybe generic addresses. It is often seen that when you address somebody by things that are specific to them, is what they would feel that you're talking to them specifically, and not maybe addressing a general group of audience. So personalize the content to the extent that it is possible, and in your flows, right? Like, I mean, based on the behavioral data that you have, customize again the flows. So if I know that as a user I am somebody who is not very motivated, and I require some sort of a push to be able to come back to the chatbot and interact, messages need to be sent to me in that format. So if I am not engaging for whatever reason, if I'm just being sent, say, higher rigor content, there is a even higher chance that I'm not going to be able to see, I'm not going to go and look at what you're sending. So personalize the content to the extent that it is possible, so that users feel, quote unquote, that you're speaking to them and not a general group of an audience, right? Secondly, again, to build this habit or build this motivation, there are certain gamification tactics that you can apply for the user to see and feel that they are moving towards a particular direction, right? Again, common things, common executions that you could execute. Again, this is very specific to what not all of this is something that might work for you. Again, it is going to be very specific to what works best for your users, right? Like, say for example, when I talk about showing progression, or showing a milestone sort of a progression, saying, okay, if I complete xyz things, I get eligible to redeem, say, a silver trophy. If I complete beyond a silver trophy, if I complete xyz things, I get eligible to achieve a gold trophy. Now things like this might not be applicable for all the user groups that come by, and you as an organization would know your users the best. So again, to put this into an example, right? As elders, if I am somebody who is working and is engaging with your chatbot, I am not going to be motivated with like a gamified tactics, right? But say if I am a student who is, say, in 8th 9th standard, an adolescent student, I'm more likely to like this sort of a gamified approach of building motivation. So again, what works best is something which is going to be very dependent on your user behavior and user demographics. So quickly, again, just going through what would be the most one of the common things that you could do. First being showing progression to an end goal, right? So now, say for example, I in my chatbot, in the flows that I have created, I could create like some sort of a logic saying, if they reach in these junctures of their user journey, they get eligible to collect something. It could be again a trophy, it could be a certificate, it could be badges, it could be tokens, and all of this could again be personalized, say a name wise badge, or like a district wise or a city wise leader, so things like that it could be further customized. And now when I have placed all this in my user journey, at the beginning when the user gets onboarded to your chatbot, you can communicate this, that this is some sort of a logic that's been built, and a user could engage to the chatbot too in that particular direction to be able to achieve all these tokens on the way. So that's about progression. Another thing, common idea that you could also build is maintaining a streak. So streak essentially is one of these ideas wherein you're basically building a habit amongst the users to come back and complete a particular action at a set frequency, right? So the moment they break that habit at a particular juncture, what you basically do is initialize that streak back to zero. So it is again based on this principle that a user would never want to, or if there is a streak that a person has to complete, they would not want it to break in the middle and come back. So it follows again that principle of human behavior, that if at all I'm showing that this is something I need to complete in a day, they are more likely to come back, right? So that's on streaks. Collectibles, as I mentioned, could be badges, could be tokens, could be certificates, could be maybe a set of a token of appreciation on moving forward. So that's on like collectibles. And putting and culminating all this together, you could also display something like a leaderboard. So leaderboard is essentially you are making it visible to the entire user group that there is somebody whom you're not quote unquote competing with, but giving them visibility of the progress that other users are making, so that looking at that, we have users who engage, come back to your platform, right? So that's essentially what leaderboards is. On capabilities of how this can be again done from using our platform is something I'm going to speak about in greater detail ahead. But yeah, quote unquote, these are things which you can use, which you can again uh, understand, speak to users, and see out of this what is it that you can apply. Because as I said, not anything and everything will work for your particular target audience, right? But pick and choose from what works best over here to like build your motivation. Moving to certain examples, right? Like that I said on streaks is basically, as I said, it is to build a particular habit for a particular set of time, and that's something which can be customized even further. It can be even there can be layers of integrations that you can do over here as well. So that's on streaks. uh, Another thing what you can do, when I said customizing, this is one example that we have put up on customizing the user experience based on their behavior, right? A lot of you have use cases wherein you all are sending quizzes to users, and based on the responses that they give you for the quizzes, there is some sort of a conversation that moves on, right? Over here, so now if I am performing inherently correctly and giving you the correct answer, when you're specifically calling out that appreciation, I am more prompted to come back and attempt more quizzes on your platform. While at the same time, if consistently I'm not being able to answer correctly, if I'm called out, that's not something I would like. So again, whenever there is a correct answer that is provided by the user, over here you can see there is a clear call out saying that okay, this particular person, this particular user who's Tanu has been doing well, and we want to call out and appreciate for it. While in this case, when there was a wrong answer provided, there it ends with one line of hope saying that okay, it's okay that you could not do it, let's try next try in the next question again. So yeah, like these are things that I mean you can use to uh, categorize your UX based on the responses that users give you. And again, there are again second kind of nuances that you can follow here, right? Now, if a set of a quiz includes say 10 questions, if I give correct answers to all 10 questions, as a user, if you call out again and again, great work Tanu, great work Tanu, great work Tanu for 10 times, again that could again irritate me as a user. So you would have to, there's another layer of logic that you can build on that, like how many times do I call out? Do I call out always? Because if I call out always, that could again become a point of frustration for the user. So again, these are certain nuances that you can change and customize in your UX based on the responses that users give you, right? Yeah, and moving on, the last bit, which was about leaderboards that I just said. uh, Again, the idea over there is you communicate how everybody is performing to your entire user group, so that looking at others, again, there is a sort of a motivation or a habit built to come and interact, right? This is something which you can again build using the existing capabilities of the platform. We'll be also sharing a detailed blog on how you can create dynamic images of this sort when we share the set of resources with you. But essentially, that's what we are going to look at, like use maybe out of the list of things that you can do to build motivation, what works the best, what clicks the best with the set of users, and how they are likely to respond to anything that you build across, right? Yeah, maybe I can take a 2-minute pause here for any questions on this particular metric of engagement. Maybe you can either raise your hand or just directly actually unmute and speak on any questions that we have for this particular topic. Yeah, Ajish, is this something which is clear? Is there anything more clarification that you need on this particular topic? You're on mute, if you're speaking. Just calling that out. Okay, we can come back. Sharanya, what about you?
Yeah,
Padma?
this is clear, Tanu.
Okay. Okay, maybe then we can oh, okay, Ajish, yeah. I was just asking you if there are any questions that you would like, if you have any, or is there any like anything that you would like to call out and raise?
Hey, no, nothing from my end, but this is we discussed during our one-on-one
Yeah.
conversation. This is something that we are trying to implement in our existing flow so that there will be the engagement could be high than the existing one. So the survey is currently the FGD that we are currently the team is in the field to do the survey. So we will get to know what is their take, the end users take today and this week, and we will be able to incorporate some of those feedback into our flows.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, maybe then I can move to the next bit in the presentation. Second, as we discussed, it was on ability. Ability here basically is going to be so now if say I have built this particular chatbot flow, right, which you want me to as a user come and interact, how much effort is it going to take from my side to be able to do it? If it is something which is very complicated, I am more likely to just not proceed ahead, right? Is it something in what are the set of things that you want me to do to be able to achieve something like this? That is something which is what ability is going to talk about. Again, going with like simple things that you should definitely include to make it as simple as possible or as easy as possible for your user to engage is simplify the flow to the extent that it's again possible, right? Like, I mean, not to use maybe very long messages with a lot of different bigger ideas, right? Because you have to realize that for a user, your chatbot is maybe say 10% of what they need to do in the day. So if it is already something which is very big, I am more likely as a user to not read it at all, right? It's a very common thing in all our WhatsApp groups that maybe we are a part of. It could be the WhatsApp groups that you have with your family, with your friends. If you have like really long messages, good morning messages, or like festival messages, you're more likely to just skip it or scroll it through and not read it at all. So keep the messages as simple as possible. Use visual cues in your messages to the extent that it's possible. Again, specific to what works best for your users, right? For children, if the users end users are say young students, uh, stickers or images or videos or a lot of emojis in your flows is what essentially attracts their attention to read your message, right? And a lot of times also what happens is, if the user has this particular persona of relating to audio visuals more than just text, he or she is likely to associate more with what the emoji says and not even read your message, but just understand what your message is trying to convey from the emojis that you use. So use visual cues in your messages to the extent that it's possible, based on again what works best for your target audience. And another nuance that you could follow again for specific flows, right? This might not be applicable for anything and everything that you create. uh, Only reveal the information that is highly relevant to the user in that particular journey, right? I'm going to be walking you all through one design which, again, a common use case of this design wherein we gradually disclose the information based on what is relevant for the user at that particular journey, so that again, if you show all the information at once, um, it's highly likely that the user gets overwhelmed with the amount of information that has come by, and again, thereby leading to them churning out, right? So again, gradually reveal the information that it is that you want to convey. And for any say nudges or any messages also that come by in the middle of your flow, provide actionables, clear and understandable actionables to that message. Don't leave it with an assumption that users will understand what to do next, because in most cases that's not the case, right? That users get that this is what you mean. A lot of times, like, even if you don't mention that the user has to click on the button, there is a tendency that they might just write and send the in response, right? So never assume that they'll be able to act on it on the go without you giving them clear instructions. So provide again clear CTS to the extent that it's possible, right? Going with examples, right, over here. So now you can see that there are two messages that I have put across, right? These are basically basically messages that you would commonly find in one of the nudges that you send based on your use case. Over here, if you see clearly, right, I am if I have to compare the two responses over here, what you can see in the one that's below, I have put like certain number of emojis and also highlighted the cues in bold which I want them to read definitely, right? Like, I want them to understand the urgency that indeed time is running out, and if you don't complete it now, you're going to miss out on something which is the reward. And what that reward is, just as a glimpse, again, in the emojis I've given it away that it could be something like a medal. So things like that could grab the user's attention, as opposed to just having a very plain text simple message which is very likely that the user just skips across, right? That's one first. Second example that I was talking about, and progressive disclosure, right? A lot of times, this is a very simple example that I've picked, which is basically collecting feedback, right, through one of your flows that you might want to collect. Again, what as orgs that you have to realize is feedback is something that you want as an organization to maybe say improve and make changes to your program. It's not very critical for the user to give. So if it includes a very elaborate structure of asking a lot of inputs from the user, first point of dropout can just happen right there, that this is something that you require, and you're also asking me a lot of things to put across. So again, simplifying that to the extent that's possible is again based on the kind of feedback that they give you. You ask them if there is something that could be done better, right? And even in that, what went wrong, I have so another painful way, let's put it that way, another painful way of doing this could be that in the negative section, if I've given you a negative feedback, I can simply just ask you what could have been done better, right? And as a user, as an org, I'm expecting you to type that answer and send it to me. But if I know my users well, I know that the tendency of things, why they might not like it, could be time management, could be the pace in which the session was conducted, or it could be because the rigor was very difficult. I'll automatically put that as options, and then also provide like an option for them to try it in case they want to. So that reduces one touch point for a user, or one pain point for the user to actually type that and give it to me. So for a user A, it's not very difficult, or it's not a lot of effort to type that entire answer. And for you as an org, you're also getting a cleaner data, right? Because it's coming from a button. So things like this is something which you can again do when you're trying to disclose information based on just what might be relevant to the user at that particular point in their journey. That's on, again, progressive disclosure. Now again, on actionable nudges that I spoke about, right? Again, here you can see two kinds of nudges that I have put across. If you see the first one, where I'm just saying to know about chatbots, ask Glyphic, I'm as a user, I don't know why I should know about it. Like, what's the value add that it is doing to me as a user if I know more about Glyphic, right? While in the second one, I'm clearly conveying what is the value add that it is going to do to me as a user, which is why I should click on that button and move ahead. So again, these are things that you should ideally include in nudges, wherein again in the second one, as you can see, I also put across, say, what is the value add, saying that okay, why I should click it. Second, if I click it, what is the motivation for me to click it? It is going to unlock some rewards, right? So I'm more prompted to click on that button. And I'm also telling you, you're supposed to click on that button to move forward. I think briefly Disha touched upon this in her presentation as well, wherein there are clear CTAs provided, right? Else I can also assume that okay, if I send this with a button and not include this particular line, it's very common for me to think that okay, they might understand that I should click, but that very well might not be the case. So it's always good to point that across and remind the users again, this is how they can move forward, right? So yeah, I think this was on ability. Again, I'll take a pause here on any questions about this topic, and also maybe tying this together with motivation that we have done so far, that we've covered so far. Just feel free to unmute, or just like maybe raise hands, talk, whatever is comfortable. If you think you can put down in the chat and that's more comfortable, please go ahead. I'm very afraid of this loud silence, huh? Just letting you all know. Some responses would be good in terms of okay, if it's clicking well, it's not clicking well. Is the coming, if the, is the idea coming across? So in loud silence is not something I would encourage. Maybe just one clear call out of whether it's working or not. Padma, what about you? Is it
It is
something?
Tanu. Yeah.
Okay, because I can see Imran and Rahul. I'm going to put you all on spot and also want you all to tell me. Are there any questions? I don't know if it's me. I cannot hear you clearly.
It's clear. No question.
Okay. Rahul, what about you?
No.
सही से समझ आ रहा है? कुछ चीजें हैं. Is there something that you
हाँ,
would like to repeat?
हमने यूज किया है नजेस क्योंकि यूजर को जब स्टॉप बोलते हैं यूजर, तो उनसे पूछते हैं कि आपको इंटरेस्ट नहीं है क्या, आपको टाइम नहीं है क्या, ऐसे।
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I can see Ajish has turned on his camera, so I'm going to ask him also.
I mean, we have the flow. I mean, the existing team already put up these flows and they have put all these nudges already into the flows.
Mm-hmm.
And they have created a benchmark already up. I'm just wondering how
Okay.
we as the team who is going to take up this and and work on all these nudges in an effective way, or the existing way, how we can take this up is something that I'm just literally thinking aloud for myself.
Okay. You can reach out to us. Like, I mean, to the extent that's possible, we can, I think, support you on maybe just getting an understanding of what currently how it's set up and how you can, use one of these ideas to build it further.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely that's something that required. And also was talking to Gokul and he was also suggesting the same.
Okay. Great. Yes. Being nice. Put up. I've recently used nudges in a simple image flow with our workers. The first time using the nudge. Okay. Great to hear that. Um okay, maybe then I can move to the last bit, which is basically prompting, right? Prompting is basically now, as I said, right, your chatbot is maybe one of the 10 or 100 things that they have to do in a day. So it's very likely that they maybe not forget. It could be that, okay, I started using the chatbot for XYZ reasons, and something came by and I just dropped off and carried on with the other set of work. So it is very important that you keep reminding the user to come back, right? For it could be either of the use cases. It could either be a push or a pull or a combination of the two. It is very important that you get them back to your platform in by communicating the value again and again, because it's a very high possibility that that does not like click or come by, right? Again, talking a little bit about what nudges are, what are the kind of nudges that exist, and what are the simple tactics that you can follow to design a nudge that actually works well. Is first talking about the kind of nudges, right? You'll have three kinds. Largely, there are three kinds of nudges that you can use in your chatbot flows. First one being time-based nudges or time-based prompts. That is when you, as an org, know what is the time of the day that users are highly active on your chatbot. Again, that could be very different for every org. It could be very different for even for every org with the same target audience. It could be different because the scenarios in which your target audience operates is different, right? So I particularly at that point, when I know that it is the highest chance that the user has the phone in their hand, I'm going to nudge them to again come back and engage to the chatbot. Those are basically time based prompts wherein I know that or I'm notifying the user when they're most likely to respond to my message or most likely to come and interact with my chatbot, right? Second are event based prompts, saying there is some particular change or advancement that you have done in your program that you want users to come and check it out, right? Those are when you're notifying the user that one particular event has occurred, so now it's the time for you to come and check that out. Those are event based prompts. And the last one being prompting when you observe one sort of an inactivity. That is when you've seen that, okay, for a period of time now I'm seeing that they are not responding. I nudge them to again give me the response that I want. Those are typical cases of what you put in your flows, right? On no response, which I think just Imran and Neha highlighted upon, wherein collecting the name is a critical information in your chatbot flows, right? Because entire that's something which you're going to be using in the entirety of their journey. So we want the user to again respond and give you that information, so you nudge the moment you're not getting it. And at that point they've put shorter nudges because they think that, okay, if the phone is in front of them, likely it is that 8 minutes if they're not responding right now, phone is still going to be with them, let me nudge them to give me the response that is required. So those are prompts that you send, or triggers that you send, or nudges that you send when you observe one period of inactivity. from the user. Again, over here, I'm just going to talk about one particular example, uh, wherein, what is it that, again, what are the ideas that you can follow to create a proper nudge, right? Now, again, over here, again, these are basically two nudges that I would again want to send when I'm observing a period of inactivity from the user. If you see in the first one, I'm just simply saying that, okay, I am seeing that you're inactive. If you want to continue ahead, you're going to click on this, please click on this particular button, and it is going to take you forward in your journey. While in the second one, again, I'm following this idea that, why is it that I want you to engage? Because if you engage, you will be able to start your streak again. To be able to do and start the streak again, it is just a 2-minute thing that I'm expecting you to do. It is also, which means it's not very effort heavy for a user to be able to complete that action. And and I've also created an urgency, saying that, okay, you need to complete it before it gets too late. In this case, it could be like, I mean, the end of the day, because a streak is particularly for the day. So there are three of the components in a very short message that you're communicating in the nudge, as opposed to just saying, hey, listen, I see you're not interacting, please interact by clicking this button. Right? So I've communicated the significance of why you should interact back. I've created an urgency, and I've also conveyed that it is also very less effort for you to take and do it, so please do it. So these are again three ideas that you can try and keep and understand what you should include in the nudge messages, right? So time and again, what you can also see over here is that the not the rules, but the way you want to do it is an amalgamation of all these three ideas again and again. When I am communicating the value add, you're again moving to the idea to build motivation. And when I'm saying that do it in this particular format, I'm also providing a clear CTA. So it is not a very black and white set of rules that you need to implement for all the three, but like look at them holistically together to create the engagement that you need, right? So yeah, that was again on prompting. Moving to the last bit of the presentation, which is about understanding what works best and how do you identify that out of these list of ideas, what is it that you need to implement in your chatbot program, right? uh, Largely, if you were to look at it, there are broadly two or three categories of users that could come by based on again how you want to define engagement, right? First being highly engaged users who are interacting with your chatbot quite frequently, and the second set of users being medium to low engaged who are on the verge of churning out or have already churned out, right? So again, you as an organization will have different motives of building engagement for these two groups. If I'm already very engaged as a user, the org's aim would be that I maintain that engagement with your chatbot. While if I'm somebody who's on the verge of churning out, the aim would be to build that engagement across. So because again there are two different, so you'll have to apply two different kind of strategies for both these set of users, because you cannot keep sending maybe complicated nudges to somebody who's already on the verge of churning out, because that's not going to build motivation, right? It could on a very good term that would push them to churn out even further, right? Or even faster. That could be the correct way to look at it. So how you can understand again who are the users who fall in these categories, why do they fall in these categories? The best way is to actually go and talk to the users and get that information to the extent that it's possible, right? Only if you talk to them, speak to them, try and understand what is it that's motivating them, what is it that are their pain points on, or what are the barriers that is limiting them to engage with your chatbot. So talk to the users to the extent that it's possible. Another thing that you could do to understand again behavior would be analyze the chats, right? A lot of times when you look at the way they respond, you'll actually understand, okay, maybe in your head this is how you envision that, okay, this is something very simple, they could just click on the button and move forward, but that actually might not be the case when you look at their chats. So analyze their chats, see how they are interacting with your chatbot, talk to the users and get the information, get the understanding what is motivating them to engage and what is limiting them to engage, right? and tie this together with the quantitative data that you have. The quantitative, so there is something called as an engagement funnel also, which you can build, which you can define for your particular organization. And based on that engagement funnel, you will understand to the scale at which the problem exists, right? Or for that matter, even if whether even the problem exists, because just speaking to the users, you also need to validate what they're saying. So tie this to the quantitative data that you have, and based on this information, test out the strategies that are put across to build the engagement. Because again, it might not sure shot be the case that okay, if I implement a leaderboard, it might just work out well. You might also come across the fact that okay, in fact, it is demotivating the users. That could also be the case. Your assumption could be that okay, it is helping, but it could also be that it is demotivating them. So it's very important that once you identify what the pain points are, test out these strategies across the users, right? Yeah, I think that brings us to the end of, let's say, a very short webinar on engagement. Again, I can take a pause of just 2 minutes to get a sense of if there are any questions on the three metrics, along with how you can conduct this sort of a research to even figure out what will work.
Hey, Tanu, I'm just quickly jump in here. So,
Yes.
just a request. Do you have any kind of a very basic flow or examples which can be shared with us, especially
Mhm.
this, especially on these three pieces of it?
Okay.
It's helpful for me and my team to just to see, run it across, and how we can just fit it into our works will be helpful.
Okay, when you say specific flows, you mean like which include these three ideas?
Yes.
Is that we can definitely look at
Very
designing it
basic
together.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we can definitely look at designing it together. We have extended our support to the end of the month, right? You can definitely get on a call with us to see how we want to take this forward. Because
Sure.
again, why I'm saying that is because these three ideas don't go in silos, right? Like,
Mm.
I mean, you'll have to implement them together.
Yeah.
So to be able to even do something like that, I would say we can get on a call to understand and brainstorm what might work
Sure.
best, and create the flow there and there, like not maybe
Sure.
use sample flows. Yeah,
Works for me. Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
great. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if there are no questions, we can move to the last part of the items on the agenda, which is basically would like to just send out one sort of an endline survey. This is basically, it includes a combination of the feedback for this particular session, along with how the cohort has been like throughout, right? Some Most of the questions is something which you might be already familiar with, because if you have also, which I'm sure you have also filled the first survey that we sent out at the beginning of the cohort. So I'm quickly sharing the form link on the chat. Give me a second. We can spend again good maybe 7 minutes on this, and come back, right? Put the link on the chat. I can maybe stop sharing as well. I can play music, maybe same kind of music. Maybe. Yeah. Thank you, Diksha, for sharing your response. We can just spend time till 6:45 on this and then quickly close with a reflection session. Looking forward to everybody else's responses. The 7 to 8 people on the call. Looking forward to more responses. We have only one so far.
Chaitanya, just give us a minute. I'll closing this.
No, sure. Problem. Thank you, Rahul, for your response. And at 6:45, we can wait longer. We can wait till 6:48. Close this. Yeah. Thank you, Imran. Thank you, Sharanya. And Meghna as well. Waiting for you, Neha. Take your time. No pressure. Okay. Take your time and fill. Thank you, Neha. We can wait till 6:48 for more responses and then move to the next bit in the agenda. And meantime, you can just keep filling the form as well. Yep. Thank you, Ajish. Thank you, Arvind. Thank you, everybody, for your responses. Quickly, just closing with the last piece of the activity for the session and for the day. We're going to be doing a very short reflection exercise on how the cohort has been so far. I am sharing a link on the chat. I'll also be sharing screen as well for everybody to look at the responses. If I could just request everybody to click on link and move to the Miro board. I'm also sharing my screen. Second. So if you see, the first part of what we are expecting you to fill is everything we want to just document and take a brief look at how what are the collective learnings that we have as a cohort. So anything that you feel comfortable putting across, it's again anonymous, so we'll not know who shared what. If you can just put down things that you probably discovered during the session. It could be during something that you discovered maybe while implementing something on your instance, or just in general how you felt, how learnings have been through the course of the activities that we did in the cohort. I'll just request you all to pick a sticky note or two and add in your thoughts in the first learning logs board, uh, with anything that came across which you'd like to share out with the team on the board. Yeah, I'm also sharing, also maybe share the screen with everybody to look at what people are sharing. Yeah. Can again have like a very short round of discussion at 6:55 for this, just so that we have like a sharing for everybody to talk about. Anybody who feels comfortable can do it. We can do it around 6:55. Looking forward to what people are adding. if you've put down on your learning logs on something that stuck with you, you can move into adding something which you think could have been done better. It could again be from the time on sessions, on support, on anything that you feel you'd like to share and put across. You can move to the next board as well on call for improvements. Okay. Anybody who had put down their aha moments would like to share? Maybe just one person would like to share the thought behind putting it, elaborate more on it, on why it is what it is. Anybody who feel comfortable sharing in the group. Nobody like to share? No pressure, okay. This is not something I'm going to call out people. If you feel comfortable, I would suggest that you can just unmute yourself and share so that everybody gets to hear your elaborate thought on putting that across.
Whoever has put AI assistant, because it's not elaborate, can elaborate maybe.
Yeah, specifically. I hope that was not like Ajish who added and got dropped off. But yeah. Okay. Meghna, I can see a comment. I request you to put that as like a sticky note. Or were you not able to do it because of which like you added a comment?
Yeah,
Or
I'm not able to do it. It's I'm actually doing it on my phone,
okay.
so it's getting a little confusing.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we can move to the next one. I don't see anybody who have added a call for improvements. We would really like to know how we could improve and make this better. If you want to do it, so please share and add. It does not need to be all good. I think that's something I want to particularly call out. So yeah, please do add anything and everything and anything that you think we could have done better uh, this time around. You can see a lot of people have also added things on their journey for the next 3 months. Would anybody like to again share? Um, Somebody's added streamline and break it into pieces. Um, could we elaborate a little more on that? What do you mean by that? Again, calling out a loud silence. Little bit is scary to me. So yeah,
I would really like to know more of this because we want to continue doing Restart Cohort in future as well with more NGOs. So if you
Yeah.
can like specify what do you mean by that, so it'll help us in reflecting and making things better for you and for all of us. Maybe we'll start with the streamlined question. Like if somebody can, there's nothing right or wrong. So it's
Yeah,
just your
yeah.
opinion. और आपने इतना अच्छा बोला तो हम लोग क्रिटिकल फीडबैक भी अच्छे से लेंगे
लेंगे
मुझे लगता है राहुल ने लिखा है राहुल स्माइलिंग
He's going to say I'll turn off my camera because you can see me smiling. Yeah. Yeah. And spend at least 2 to 3 more minutes more. So I'll request everybody to just actively participate and add your thoughts because it's just important for us to reflect and see how we can make this better uh, going forward, right? So yeah, as KP mentioned, there are no right or wrong answers. So just feel free to put across what you think, which say you could not communicate up until or also something that you've already told us. I would just request you all to add that across so that we keep note of that when we want to design something like this moving forward. Okay, we can just spend 1 more minute and come back. Yeah, 7-2 we can circle back. So come on people, 1 more minute. 1 more minute of active participation and concentration. That's it. Then you'll not reach out or bother you more. Okay. I think we can come back. Yeah, I can maybe stop.
You can continue adding in case you want to
Yeah,
add it in future, and like we'll be happy to like chat or like read about it and just improve.
yeah. Keep building this on. We can just come back for just a closing. Keep adding more thoughts as well if they come by. Maybe not today. If tomorrow, just go. You have the link. I send it across in the resources. You can keep adding it. Yeah, great. So we would first like to take this opportunity to thank everybody who are a part of this. This was our first cohort that we did, and thank you for being such an amazing team, an amazing group of organizations with all varied use cases and varied objectives of joining the cohort. So, big thank you for your participation. And as we say it, our support doesn't end here. We have as I think KP also reiterated in the last session, we are going to continue to provide you one-on-one support at least up until the end of September. So again, after the call, when I send in the set of resources, I'll also share you all a link where you can book one-on-one appointments with me in case there are any questions that you want to resolve by from something that you are already implementing or want to take it forward. And besides that, we have other channels of support also which you can use, which is our support our call that happens every Tuesday, or you can actively raise queries on the NGO support channel on Discord, and use any medium that you think is going to help you reach out to us faster, right? So again, I would like to close with a very small comment that thank you for being such a wonderful cohort for something that we tried for the first time. And feel free to, I think, write to us as well if you think you could not put down your thoughts on the Miro board. Just write to us with any feedback that you have. We would love to take it forward and reflect and see how we can make it better for you, maybe if we come up with something like this similar ahead, right? Yeah, over to you, KP.
Yeah.
Yes.
The last thing is, as we said, we are planning to have another optional session on running chatbots, like overall, like how do you plan for hiring? How do you collect feedback? Like a couple of those things. So it's an optional session. So we'll push a poll, like probably in a couple of days. If more of you shows interest, we'll do that session. If not, then we can drop it. Like, so it depends on basically on how you want to do it. Okay.
Cool. With that, I think slowly we can
Thank
keep
you
it
so much. Have
keep it
fun.
going off. And yeah, please feel free to keep adding on the board, right? We will actively check that out and look across how we can implement.
Thanks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Tanu.
you,
Thank you,
KP.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanu.
Bye.
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 Thank you so much.